And Finelli row 5, Abel and Kirkwood on row number 6. We are looking for a great battle here. Obviously these cars, a lot of aerodynamics, but you're going to see some drafting here for sure as these drivers get set to go. But again, we are just moments away, folks, from firing things up. Down here on pit lane, joining me to give the command to fire from the Bomarito Automotive Group, Blake Bomarito, with the call that we are waiting to hear to fire up the Road to Indy component of this weekend's racing. Indy Pro 2000 will be followed by Indy Lights, but we are now just seconds away. Ladies and gentlemen, to give the command, Blake Bomarito.
On behalf of the Bomarito Automotive Group and Bomarito.com, where Price sells cars, welcome to Worldwide Technology Raceway and the Indy Pro 2000 Series. Gentlemen, start your Mazda engines.
And the engine's firing up down here on pit lane, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting set to go. Indy Pro 2000. Rasmus Lind on the pole. We'll send it back up to the booth.
Field roars to life, and we get set for our first competition here this afternoon at Worldwide Technology Raceway. 55 laps of racing for the Pro 2000s.
And as Rob stated, the future stars of IndyCar about to do battle here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. 1.25 mile oval. And the field now starts to head out.
This is going to be good. Rob Howden did the lineup, as you just heard. And we see him running. I thought he would probably cross the track here and come up the steps, but maybe that's not going to be the case. I was going to say he's going to be more out of breath than I. Oh, he's getting on a golf cart.
There he
I
goes.
see. Well,
yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, Rob Howden would be, he's the man. He's the man in the know.
Yeah.
And when they said he was going to send it up here, we both looked at each other like, we didn't know this. Well, Rasmus Lind out of Sweden. He will be sitting on the pole for this one, turning the fastest lap in qualifications yesterday.
You can work if you want to, because like I say, I got some Indy Lights stuff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, up on the flag stand, that is Brad Hockaday. He will be waving the silks all day long for the open cars, the Indy Lights, the Pro 2000, and the NTT Indy cars. Brad Hockaday, the flamboyant one. One of the best in the business.
And Jim, as we start to see the field lining up once again here into turn 3, 2 by 2, getting ready to go green here for the Indy Pro 2000. Rasmus Lind, the points leader. He's been dominant this season. He will lead the field to the green as they roll their way out of turn 4 here. Getting ready for our first green flag of the day from Worldwide Technology Raceway. The Indy Pro 2000, the second rung on the Road to Indy ladder down the front straightaway. The green flag flies, and we're underway here from Worldwide Technology Raceway.
And it did not take long for the action to pick up. Already going 3 wide, 4 wide into turn number 1. They're still 3 wide through the corner. And the sandwich meat of that sandwich pulls out in front. My goodness, what a start that was.
Corey Enders charging on the back end here of Rasmus Lind as they roll into turn 3. Battling their way down. This is a trademark of this series with all the downforce and the lower power. These cars can run nose to tail. They'll draft up on each other. It'll be great racing all afternoon long here as they're 3 abreast down the front straightaway and diving off into turn 1.
This is fantastic racing right here at the drop of the green flag. 3 wide as they completed lap number 1. Now they go 2 wide through turns 1 and 2. You've got a new leader going down the back straightaway.
It's one of those D-Force racing cars. Looks like it's De La Vera that's jumped in front of Lind, but they're still 2 by 2 into turn 3.
De La Vera is your new leader now.
Down the front straightaway, those two lead cars nearly touching wheels. Now a big run, looking to go to the inside here is Corey Enders. They're 3 wide down into turn 1.
Once again, 3 wide racing. Oh my gosh, that is not supposed to work, but they make it work a second time. Now they go 3 wide down the back straightaway. The outside line, one of those drivers had to get on the binders to get, and they're 3 wide going into 3. I'm not going to watch this no more. This is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic racing here. What a way to start a day.
The two D-Force racing cars right now leading the field down the front straightaway. They've been battling, and they'll draft their way down the front straightaway. Corey Enders, the young American, leading the way here in the Indy Pro 2000 race.
Corey Enders out of Warwick, New York, leading the way. De La Varva riding in second. Kirkwood racing in third. Length slipping back to fourth. And Stingray Rob is riding in fifth in car number 2.
And a good start charging through the field here for Kyle Kirkwood. He's been on a hot streak the last couple races in this Indy Pro 2000 series. And the young American looking to make a charge towards those two D-Force racing cars as we see him dive to the inside of Enders as De La Vera leads down the front straightaway.
I think we're going to have to make a recording, Nate. They're 2 and 3 wide through the corners once again.
De La Vera leads down the back straightaway. We've seen Kyle Kirkwood now pulling in the second position, and he's got a big run as they head into turn 3 and dives up the inside.
De La Vera momentarily had that lead, but Enders, Corey Enders now up into the lead, driving car number 2. De La Vera continues to lead the way. Kirkwood riding in second. Enders is in third. Length back up to fourth after slipping back to fifth. And racing in the fifth position now, that is Stingray Rob.
Pass for the lead coming down the back straightaway. Side by side through 3 and 4 now. Kyle Kirkwood goes to the lead, but here goes De La Vera back to the inside. Moises De La Vera looking back to the inside again. What a tremendous battle for the lead now between Kirkwood and De La Vera. Kirkwood's gotten to the point, though. From dead last to the front of the pack. He's won 5 of the last 6 races, and he went immediately to the front. Good racing through the field, but Kirkwood, that momentum he has, trying to take this championship back from Rasmus Lindh, who led this season from the very get-go. Parker Thompson won both races to start things off, but Lindh dominated the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to take that point lead. Holds it coming into the weekend, but Kirkwood looking good right now. Rasmus Lindh started on the pole in the number 10. He's fallen back to 4th spot. And as they run on the racetrack, Kyle Kirkwood would take over the point lead by 4 markers. The two D-Force cars looking pretty good here, running in second and third. De La Vera got a great start. Worked his way up into the lead for a time. Off-pole starter Corey Enders slotting back into third. Lindh fourth. Rookie driver Antoine Comeau for Turn 3 Motorsports now into the 5th position. $55 laps of the duration for this event for the drivers in Indy Pro. Enders had some trouble, had to get off it going through turn 1 and 2. This has allowed Rasmus Lindh to close back up. Lindh right back to the gearbox, looks to the inside going into 3. Rasmus Lindh to the bottom of the racetrack. Car washed up a little bit on him. It's going to allow Comeau to close in. That's what you got to watch when you're trying to make that move. Pointing that car into the turn 3 corner, very fast part of the racetrack, flat out all the way around for the drivers here in Indy Pro. You get up under the gearbox like that, you lose the air off the front wing. Car washes up on you. You'd seen how close Lindh got, but now he's fallen back. 11 laps now down. Kyle Kirkwood looking to extend this streak. He's won 3 races in a row, 5 of the last 6. Looking to take over that point lead. Kirkwood laying the fast laps down as well. That's what he's using to pull away. Everything's working for the young American. Last 6 races, his worst finish in 8th in Toronto. Had an issue late in the race in Toronto. Dropped to 8th in the order. Otherwise, 5 wins surrounding it. This would be 6 in a row. Rasmus Lint trying to see if he can't reel in Corey Enders still. Not that far back. Maybe 2 kart lengths as they come out of turn number 2. Make that maybe 4 now as they rocket down the back straightaway. He'll tuck up underneath the draft. Close it back up to 2 lengths as they work their way into turn number 3. Lint holding the car a little bit bottom. Here they come. That's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Antoine Comeau closing up. Stingray Rob 6th. Daniel Frost in 7th. Artem Petrov 8th. Parker Thompson up to 9th. Jacob Abel 10th. Nikita Lostishkin in 11th. And Charles Finelli in 12th. You can see Kirkwood's lead. We got the D-Force drivers side by side coming down the back straightaway. De Oliveira and Enders side by side going into 2. If you're the team owner there, you're holding your breath. They're still side by side working their way through the corner. Enders on the bottom. De Oliveira up top. Still side by side. That's almost a full lap. That's allowed Rasmus Lint to get in here. They're punching a huge hole in the air. Comeau trying to close up here as well. Well, the IndyCar drivers will be watching this because we got a second groove here, and Indy Pro's making it happen. De Oliveira up top this time. Corey Enders, I believe, able to get through. Enders goes to 2nd. Corey Enders, no, he's falling back. It's still De Oliveira. Moises De Oliveira holds off his teammate. And now Lint to the inside of Enders, going to turns 1 and 2, can't quite make it stick. Car washes up again on him. Drivers coming out of 2. Here's Enders. Actually, Comeau's trying to go to the outside now of Rasmus Lint. Look at Antoine Comeau work the outside. That second groove for Comeau, and he's going to go to P4, I think. Rasmus Lint keeping that Juncos Racing Machine right down to the bottom. He's fallen back to 5th now. Antoine Comeau, move him to 4th for Turn 3 Motorsports. That's Peter Dempsey's team. Man, Comeau, impressive. First ever oval race. Rasmus running last year in USF 2000, so he raced Lucas Oil Raceway in 2018. Ran Lucas Oil Raceway as well this year. Finished 3rd on the podium in the Freedom 90. That race won by Daniel Frost, who now runs in the 7th position. Stingray Rob finishing 2nd at Lucas Oil Raceway back in May, the Carb Night Classic. Rob now running in 6th spot. Actually, he may have lost a position. I think Daniel Frost, has got by Stingray Rob. Indeed, Daniel Frost moved him up to 6th. Driver from Singapore now to P6. There's that battle there. That's 6th, 7th, and 8th. Frost, Rob, and Petrov. And in fact, Stingray Rob's fallen back. Here comes Petrov to the inside as they go into turn number 1 and 2. There's Kirkwood. Big lead over the 2 D-Force drivers. Lint just reset fast lap of the race using a bit of draft there. And here comes Lint. He's going to get a great run to the inside of Comeau. Makes the move into turn number 3. There's Lint and Comeau running 4th and 5th. Side-by-side battle further back as well as Petrov trying to go to the inside of Stingray Rob. 20 laps down. 35 to go. Great action here for Indy Pro 2000. These drivers just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series, and they are showing tremendous side-by-side skill. Giving each other lots of room on track as well. Enders has now moved into 2nd. We saw that battle for the D-Force drivers. Corey Enders now up to the 2nd spot. That's Stingray Rob, Artem Petrov, and Parker Thompson. Parker trying to reel up as they're battling there for that 7th and 8th position. Corey Enders just turned fast lap. Let's see if he's got what it takes to potentially reel the leader in. He's back quite a ways, 1.8 seconds back. But that last lap was 2 miles per hour quicker than Kyle Kirkwood. Corey Enders, that car starting to come together for him here. He's been able to get away from his teammates, so the battle now essentially done between the two D-Force drivers. Rasmus Lindh, as they run, will drop to second in the points if they finished right now. 307 points for Kyle Kirkwood to 303 for Lindh. Parker Thompson's dropped down to 248 points. His deficit would be 59 as they run on the racetrack. But again, Thompson, as we said, trying to reel in the drivers in front of him. Parker trying to close up on Artem Petrov. 1.805 was the gap between first and second last time by. Here comes Kirkwood again. Across the stripe. Drivers out of turn 4. Carrying so much speed out of 3 and 4. Flat on the throttle. 280 horsepower. Kick into the rear wheels. All these drivers in the Tatis PM18 chassis. Enders knocks it down to 1.6 seconds. Corey Enders, almost a full mile an hour quicker than the leader again. So Corey Enders, we may have a battle here for the lead before this is all over. Haven't even got to the halfway point of this race yet. Who's got the setup to work? Is it Corey Enders and D-Force? Is it Kyle Kirkwood and RP Motorsport USA? 1.5 seconds back. You know they're on the radio telling Corey Enders to get the job done. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're slowly whittling it away. Still lots of time to go. 31 laps remain. We'll say hello to those of you tuning in on the Road to Indy TV app. If you are in the grandstands today and like what you see here and want to follow all of the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires action, download the Road to Indy TV app. All of our live shows, all the races on live. Either you can listen to them, the audio, you can watch the video, all streaming on your mobile device. Road to Indy TV making a lot of episodes as well, driver interviews, that kind of thing. You'll be able to watch all those episodes as well online. roadtoindy.tv or download the app. 1.4 seconds now the gap between first and second. Enders again resetting fast lap of the race. 1.3 seconds, a half a mile an hour quicker than Kyle Kirkwood. Not even yet using the draft either. Coming into the event, we had an open test 2 weeks ago, and D-Force Racing very happy with the car they were able to develop during that test. And in speaking with Corey Enders and Moises de Oliveira in one of our Cooper Tire Stage Q&As yesterday, they said they were very happy with the way those cars rolled off the trailer. They have not had to do a lot of work. Great setup, but now qualifying's one thing. You can change the aero. Lay those wings back a little bit. It doesn't exactly work in race trims. So has D-Force Racing come up with a good package? Kyle Kirkwood, though, reset the record book last year in USF 2000 en route to the championship. Reset the single-season win record. I would expect that Kyle Kirkwood will probably manage this gap. We'll see if Enders can continue to work his way forward, but I'm sure Kirkwood, they're on the radio telling him exactly how far behind he is. He's taking care of those Cooper tires. 1.3 seconds was the gap last time by. Ooh, the car of De Oliveira skating up the racetrack a bit there, coming out of turn number 2. And that's allowed Rasmus Lindh to close right back up. We got a couple of good battles here now. Parker Thompson closing up. Here goes a move further back. That's Stingray Robin, Artem Petrov. Look at Parker Thompson on the Able Motorsports number 8. The white, black, and red machine closing up as they work their way out of turn number 4. Rocking down the straightaway. It'll be 30 laps in this next time by. Rasmus Lindh, that number 10, closing up on the 6 of Moises de Oliveira. Mexican driver. Born in Guadalajara, living now in San Antonio, Texas. Look at this battle. That's the fight there for 7th and 8th. Artem Petrov able to get by Stingray Robin. Here comes Parker Thompson. Rob's going to go back down to the inside. Tremendous battle here for 7th. Stingray will put that Juncos Racing PM18 down to the bottom. He'll retake the position into 1. What a great way to kick off the competition here this race day. Just some tremendous racing back and forth. Daniel Frost has worked his way up to 5th. Great run for Daniel. Frost started 7th, fell back a spot, but has worked his way now up to the top 5. He's still in the championship battle. He's not that far back. Fast lap of the race, also worth a bonus point. Corey Enders has got that so far. 3-point difference between first and second. Cal Kirkwood and Moises De Oliveira as they run on the racetrack. 317 to 314. Looks like it's updated here a little bit on live timing. This gap continues to shrink between the first and second place drivers. It's way less than a second. We're down to 6/10. Look at Enders closing up as they work their way down the back straight. Great shot of the leader. Enders going to start benefiting from the draft here pretty soon. Best finish of the year for Corey Enders, his 6th place finish on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. He was 7th in the opening race on the streets of Toronto. And he is trying to chase down the driver who dominated USF 2000 last year and also the driver who has won the last five of the last 6 races and the last 3. Enders lost a bit there. Had a bit of trouble on that last lap and has dropped back to 1.1 seconds. You got to gather it up. You can't make a mistake if you're trying to reel in Cal Kirkwood. Moises De Oliveira has not yet flinched in this battle with Rasmus Lint. Rasmus has been off the rear wing. But the guy coming on strong right now, Daniel Frost. Remember, this is the battle for 3rd. Can Daniel Frost come from 7th and potentially put the exclusive Autosport machine on the podium? What a run that would be for the young driver. Only 3 starts in the Road to Indy prior to this year. Ran 3 races with exclusive Autosport in USF 2000 last season. Had 3 really good runs. Daniel's a very talented driver from Singapore. As I said, a race winner on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. Backed it up with a win as well on the streets of Toronto in July. He's trying to chase down De Oliveira and Lint for the final step on the podium. Leaders coming around to potentially put Charles Finelli down a lap. We'll see if that affects anything. There's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th because Antoine Comeau in the number 3 machine not that far off the wing from Daniel Frost. Lent starting to maybe get a little more impatient. Got real close to De Oliveira coming through 3 and 4. You can see the car push up a half a lane. This is going to allow Daniel Frost to get a big run. No doubt about that. Frost. Strong run down into 1. Stingray Robin, the number 2, has been able to pull away a little bit as well. That was a big, wide run out of turn number 2 for Rasmus Lint. Came within a couple inches of the wall on the outside. You can see the Rasmus running that lower line coming through 3 and 4, trying to keep some air on at least the left side of the wing. You need the air rushing over the wing to be able to take advantage of the aerodynamics. When you're right behind someone, that's when the car pushes up on you. And Rasmus, again, tucks to the inside. Car pushes up again. Right down to the bottom goes Frost. What a great fight. Yeah, see, Rasmus is thinking about Frost now. That's not going to work. Daniel Frost thinking about going to the outside. Let's see if he crisscrosses on the exit. He tries to go to the bottom. Big run out of turn number 4. Daniel Frost thinking about 4th. He'll go to the bottom. Rasmus is going to drive him across to the bottom of the racetrack. Frost to the inside. He'll push him back up. Coming through 1 and 2. De Oliveira going to pull away a little bit. Frost and Lint side by side. Daniel Frost tucks back in. Rasmus Lint starting to get defensive. He was on the attack for the last 18 laps or 20 laps, but now with 17 to go, he's on the defensive. As Daniel Frost put a ton of pressure on him. He lost the air off the front wing. Car pushed up. That's allowed Comeau now to get back in the fight. Antoine Comeau trying to see if he can't find a way by Daniel Frost. Again, drivers working their way out of turn number 2. Good shot to see them roll out there. Parker Thompson going to work as well on Artem Petrov in the RP Motorsports. Number 5. A lot of great battles on the racetrack. Cal Kirkwood stretched out to a 1.4 second advantage now. Maintaining that gap, trying to win his 4th straight race. And it would be 6 of the last 7. Parker Thompson finally able to get to the inside of Petrov for the 8th spot. Let's see if he holds it coming out of 2. No, he does not. Petrov able to run the outside. Here comes Lint back on Delavera. Oh, side, they're together. He's going to back it into the wall. Hard hit there. Hard hit for Delavera. That was tough. Yellow flag will come out with 15 to go. Hard impact in the turn 3-4 wall for Moises Delavera. Big run to the outside as the AMR safety team already there. I can see Moises moving around in the seat, which is great. It looked to me like Lint was making a run around the outside, and I don't think he had cleared him yet. And it looked like Lint came across in front. We're going to get a chance, guys, to see a replay of this. Here they come through into the corner. Oh, it looked to me like Delavera potentially washed up a little bit. I think the car, he didn't like where he was at the bottom of the racetrack, and with Lint up top there, it looked like the car wiggled a bit. Hopefully we'll get one more shot at this. Antoine Comeau. Man, I hope Antoine's okay. That rear wing of Delavera rolled right up the front cowling, the front of the car over the shock cover for Antoine Comeau. Hoping he did not get, hopefully he will not get, got any impact with the helmet on that wing. Moises Delavera out of the car, folks. That's what we wanted to see. You can see how tall Moises is. He's over 6 feet. Tough for him to shoehorn himself in, but he'll head over and talk to the safety crew here. Great to see Moises out of the car. What a great run he was having. Running in that 3rd spot. Again, just contact between Rasmus Lint and Moises Delavera on the entrance to turn number 3. And I initially thought that maybe Lint had come down slightly and maybe a little too early and made contact, but it seemed, because remember, when you're rolling the car into the corner like that, that's a flat-out corner. And it just looked to me like the car of Delavera got a little bit unsettled as it worked through and into 3, that initial turn into turn number 3. Contact was made right front to left rear. And at that point, Delavera really just a passenger along for the ride. He tried to counter steer into it, but there's no way you were going to save that around. The motion of the car just sending him into the wall, backwards into the wall. And again, the safety of these cars, these Tatis PM18s, just like our Dallara Indy Lights car, just tremendous safety. A brand new car brought out last year. Same tub that we use for the USF 2000 machine, and just a great race car, super safe. And again, we got to see Moises Delavera come out after hard impact into the safer barrier on the outside of turn 3. Let's reset because laps are winding down here now. We got 40 laps in. We've got 2 yellow flag laps so far, 13 laps still to go. We're going to take a little bit of time to get this thing, I think, up onto the flatbed, but let me give you a full field rundown. Kyle Kirkwood, your leader, and has led from essentially the get-go. He went to the lead so early, starting dead last, but was the man on the attack. Kirkwood, the leader. Corey Enders from D-Force Racing running in 2nd. Rasmus Lint moves up to 3rd, and let's talk about this. 3rd place puts him back into the point lead, but the gap that was 13 points coming in would now only be 1 point. As they run on the racetrack, Rasmus Lint 3rd, but leads the championship points with 318 points. Kyle Kirkwood with 317. So a 1 point advantage for Lint as they run. Daniel Frost getting a reboot for sure. P4 for Daniel. Antoine Comeau now running in 5th spot. Stingray Robb up to 6th. Artem Petrov had held off Parker Thompson. They moved to 7th and 8th. Nikita Lastushkin now 9th. Charles Finelli 10th. Jacob Abel did 14 laps and pulled it into pit lane. An issue for Jacob Abel. He remains, I believe, on pit lane. Indeed he is. We'll see if they're able to get him back out. Not sure whether he's out of the car at this point. He may be. 10 drivers remain on the racetrack. 12 laps still to go, but again, waiting on the AMR safety crew. It'll take a little time, I think, to get that car up on the flatbed. Let's have another look at that replay. I'd like to look at that one more time if we can. So again, big move on the outside. Rasmus Lint going for the lead. Watch the car on the inside of Delavera. Watch it start to get a little. Yeah, he loses the rear end of it there. You can see he counter steers, and he has to chase it up the racetrack. And just enough, he makes light contact with the left rear. About a 45-degree angle on the impact. Then you saw the wing climb up over top of Antoine Comeau, who remains on the racetrack. So again, hoping that Comeau will be fine. Hard impact, of course, to the left side of the car, but the front looks pretty good there for De Oliveira. But nonetheless, a very promising run, potentially to the podium, goes awry for the young Mexican. That moves Rasmus Lint, who really had the pass done. Great pass to the outside, carried a lot of speed, rolled to center, kept in that second groove, and De Oliveira just not able to keep the car where he needed it to be. He really didn't want to give up that position. You could see the car, as I said, start to lose the rear as he turned into the corner. He was a very shallow entry into the apex, and the car started to rotate on him. He had to chase it up the racetrack when he got back into the counter steer. Learning experience for the young driver for sure, but D-Force Racing has shown very well. They still have a soldier in the fight right now as Corey Enders running in that second position. Enders started second, running second. For a time was chasing down the leader, Kyle Kirkwood, but Kyle seemed to be able to kind of manage that position. Little bit of fluid dropping out of the car from De Oliveira. You see the AMR safety crew getting on there quickly with the speedy dry. They'll bring the sweeper out as well because that's right, of course, in the middle of the racing line. They'll make sure that is completely cleaned up before we go back to green. You don't want these guys going through with too much speedy dry down, or they'll want to make sure they have that surface dialed in. You see the car of De Oliveira getting brought back behind the wall. They'll take it over to the D-Force Racing team. And we're going to have a sprint to the finish here. 10 laps to go. You got to expect we're still looking. Are they putting the one finger sign out? Is that what we're seeing outside the car there? I don't know yet. We'll see. Yellow flag still flying here at start finish. We're going to get either a 9-lap battle or I think an 8-lap battle, either or. Yeah, safety team still down in turns number 3 and 4. This is resetting the fight for a number of drivers. Corey Enders going to get another shot at Kirkwood. Lint, instead of battling for third, could get a battle even for the lead, for the win. He's going to go after Enders. He's going to go after Kirkwood. Daniel Frost, the same thing. Frost started back in 7th. He now runs in 3rd. It would be a podium finish for Daniel Frost, which would be tremendous considering the battle he's had throughout the weekend. Just hasn't had the speed they expected. They were very good here at the open test a couple of weeks ago, both he and Lastashkin. Nikita came in very excited about the weekend. They've just been questioning and trying to find speed. It's just been a search to try to find that outright speed. Parker Thompson, same thing. They elected to go with sticker tires for qualifying yesterday. Everyone else putting scuffs on, and with the cooler temperatures, they just weren't able to get enough heat during the warm-up lap to be able to get that car to plant like they wanted in turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Car was battling with some understeer, pushing up the racetrack, and when you got understeer on a qualifying run like that, hard to really get the power down. Looks to me like the safety crew has pulled off. We may be going back to green here. Still one truck coming out of turn number 2. You can see him back there still. That AMR safety crew working their way back to their position here on the back straightaway. So at least one more. Great way to kick off today's action, that's for sure. Some tremendous racing. We had battles all the way through the pack. Fight for 3rd. We had a fight for 6th. We had a fight for 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's what we want to see. 1 to go. Drivers being shown the 1 to go sign here as they come underneath the tower at start finish. It will be 7 laps remaining when they go back to green. A dogfight for sure. Kyle Kirkwood, as I had said before, coming in 13 points behind Rasmus Lint. He's won 5 of the last 6 races, trying to extend that to 6 of 7 and a 4-race win streak. But Corey Enders, I can tell you, has different designs. Enders trying to get that first road to Indy win. They'll work their way down the back straightaway here. Final AMR truck will peel on off once he gets to the back straightaway. This is what we like. 7-lap battle. All these drivers ready to roll back on the throttle. Enders keeping the car to the bottom of the racetrack. Kirkwood will spool it back up. We're at it. Green, green, green. Racing back into turn number 1. Good start for Kirkwood. Battle for 4th further back. As Stingray Robb, I think, able to go by Antoine Camo. Move Stingray Robb up a position. He'll go to P5. Here's the first run down the back straightaway at speed. Enders trying to get full advantage. There goes Lint to the inside. Enders is going to run the top side. He knows how to get around this racetrack. Enders was quick, fastest driver in practice yesterday, qualified P2, and has a good run here now as well. But here comes Lint. Rasmuth trying to go to the inside. Parker Thompson, I think, up a spot indeed. He's been able to get by Antoine Camo as well. Parker Thompson move him to 6th from last, or second last. Good run here for Parker Thompson. Lint's going to try to make a move to the inside of Corey Enders. Enders is going to hold the top spot. Look at the car of Lint push up the racetrack. Corey Enders is hungry, but this is not helping him out at all. He's having to battle with Rasmuth Lint instead of trying to chase down Kyle Kirkwood. This is the storyline Kirkwood was hoping for. He knows Rasmuth trying to go after a championship. He wanted him to be battling with Corey Enders, not the other way around. Big run down the back straightaway. Lint using full advantage of that draft, right up into the gearbox again. But that car chases. See it just move up the racetrack. Just zero air on that wing. That aero push coming through 3 when you're flat out in that corner. Good on Rasmuth for staying on the throttle, though, because that's an unnerving feeling to feel all that input you're putting into the wheel not working. It's going to have to be a good run out of 2 and then a bottom move to the inside of the turn number 3 entry. That's going to be the best pass. Here goes Lint. We thought about it. Rasmuth Lint keeping that green and white Hunkos machine firmly into the left side mirror of Corey Enders. Kirkwood now leading by almost 0.8 of a second, taking full advantage of this fight for second. Parker Thompson now up into the 6th spot, as I said. Daniel Frost runs 4th. There's Frost there, 4th. Stingray Robb, 5th. Parker Thompson trying to reel in Stingray Robb. Parker having a really strong run after starting. I think it was actually 9th he started. Up to 6th now, trying to see if he can't go after Stingray Robb for 5th. Corey Enders starting to close back up on Kyle Kirkwood. 2 laps remaining. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. He's been able to clear Rasmuth Lint a little bit. Corey Enders wants this first victory. He's going to get a big run down the back straightaway again, getting that toe. It's down to about 6 car lengths as they tuck in to the apex of turn number 3-4. A little bit of a higher line through the corner, the exit of the corner for Corey Enders. Still a really good lead for Kirkwood. Still a half a second. In fact, I think Enders may be thinking about trying to defend here because Lint's coming. Rasmuth is going to make a move. Final corner. Enders going to take a defensive line to the inside. Rasmuth's going to see if he can't do what he did to his teammate and run the outside. They're side by side. Kyle Kirkwood's going to win this, but look at this fight for the final position. They're coming onto the front straightaway. Who's going to get it at the line? Kirkwood with the win. Rasmuth Lint gets second. Great run for Rasmuth, and you're thinking championship. Rasmuth Lint goes to second. He extends that lead. Remember, he was behind by 3, up by 1, and it's now a 6-point advantage for Kyle Kirkwood. He wins over Rasmuth Lint in second, Corey Enders in third, Daniel Frost in fourth, and Stingray Robb rounding out the top 5. Parker Thompson ends up 6th, 7th, Artem Petrov, 8th, Nikita Lastushkin, 9th, Antoine Camo, and 10th, the final driver on the racetrack, is Charles Finelli. Tremendous run for Kyle Kirkwood. He'll have Rasmuth Lint and Corey Enders on the podium. I got to jump in the golf cart, head over to Victory Lane.
Well, Bob Jenkins, Rob is on his way to victory lane. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, a very happy driver coming out of that race car, Kirkwood, in the number 28 car. He came, he saw, and he conquered the competition today.
And a lot of hugs down in victory lane, and we'll be there shortly to hear from the driver. Just a great run. And I tell you, these the drivers in this series and the Indy Lights and all through the Road to Indy, they're very talented. And the Indy Lights race that I'm most familiar with at the Speedway, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, those drivers put on just a terrific show year after year after year. It's a great show on Carb Day, and something to come see.
Yeah. I've never been up there for the Freedom 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never been up there for that, but I've been to the Indy 500 3 times, and I see now why it's called the greatest spectacle in racing. Just the pageantry.
Let's see. 70, 90, 100.
Okay, here we go.
I think I've been to, I really don't know. I missed 2 years, let's put it this way. I've missed 2 years since 1960.
Oh, wow.
And the last year I missed was 65, so I've seen every 500 since 1966. And yes, it is the greatest spectacle in racing. And as I said earlier in the weekend, just something that I live for from year to year.
How many years in the booth?
Well, I, of course, have played many roles. I joined the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network in 1979. I was the anchor announcer, the so-called radio voice of the 500 from 1990 until 98. Then I went to television. Then went to the PA booth, so I've served just about every available position there and love every one of them. I must admit, though, the role I play now is with public address for the 500, working with Dave Calabro, is the funnest because it's a very relaxed job and it's just fun. That's all I can say.
Well, we're trying to pick up Rob as he makes his way to victory lane down there to talk to a very happy Kyle Kirkwood, the winner of the Pro 2000. Cooper Tires, 55-lap event here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, great times are going to be had this evening. And the next big race coming up at 3:45, I believe, will be at 3:25, it'll be the Indy Lights race. And at 4:35 will be the NASCAR K&N Pro Series, East and West Monaco 125, presented by the West Coast Stock Car Hall of Fame. So we're still trying to pick up Rob as he makes his way to victory lane. That's a long distance between here and there.
Yeah, he's at a golf cart, and I've been watching for it. Haven't seen it yet, but he may have slipped through without me seeing it. But
well, I hope security lets him through.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have a gate.
It's a gorgeous South Florida morning here at the Palm Beach International. Perfect setting to test out the new Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 tires.
Pretty brave move to put these tires on straight-up race cars.
The race truck is the perfect scenario for this particular tire.
All day they were great, super predictable on the breakaway.
The tires, they seem like they have a lot of grip. You'll get a lot of use out of the tires.
For 15 seasons, the Castrol Toyota Racing Series has led the way in New Zealand motorsport. With 170 drivers and 276 races so far, the graduates have made their mark in international motor racing. This is the pathway for the world's young drivers. And this series hits the racetracks of New Zealand for 5 weeks every year on the quest to find the next world champion.